Hello everyone, Dr. Mpofu here, and I am back again with another Wellspring Health Nugget, and we're in the month of April. So April is Autism Awareness Month, and we are dedicating this time to increasing understanding and fostering worldwide acceptance for the millions of people who are on the spectrum. So what exactly is autism? Autism is formally known as Autism Spectrum Disorder, or ASD. It is a lifelong neurodevelopmental condition that affects how a person receives the world and interacts with others. The most important word that we need to understand here is the word spectrum. So spectrum means that while autistic people share certain difficulties, being autistic affects everyone differently. As the saying goes, if you have met one person with autism, you have met one person with autism. So let's look at the characteristics or the experiences of people who are living with autism. So they can be divided into two main categories. These categories are social communication and interaction, as well as repetitive or restrictive behaviors. So let's start with social communication. So this might look like difficulty in reading non-verbal cues. So non-verbal cues include things like eye contact, body language, the tone of someone's voice. Some autistic individuals might find it very hard to start a conversation and understand jokes or sarcasm. Then we also have repetitive or restricted behaviors. These include a preference for strict routines, where a small change in a person's day feels so overwhelming that it causes intense and very frustrated reactions in people who are autistic. Autistic people may also experience sensory sensitivities. These might be in cases where the lights might feel like they're too bright, or the sounds may be too loud, or certain textures may feel like they're physically painful for the person who is touching them. Conversely, some may also seek out very intense sensory inputs. They may like spinning, they may like rocking back and forth, and this helps regulate their bodies as well as their minds. So you may be wondering, what causes autism? Where does it come from? Right? Current research tells us that there isn't just one single cause. Instead, it's a complex combination of genetic and environmental factors. So there are multiple genes that have been identified in association with this disorder. So it is also important to state clearly what does not cause autism. So we understand that parenting styles may influence a child's behavior, but the behaviors we see in autism are not caused by parenting styles. And extensive global research has also confirmed that there is absolutely no link between vaccines and autism. Autism is simply a difference in how the brain is wired from birth. So the challenges that a person who's autistic may face are usually because the world that we live in is usually dominated by people who have different brains, non-autistic brains, which we may term neurotypical. So navigating a world built for neurotypical people can be exhausting. And some of these daily challenges may affect their executive function. This is a function of the brain that controls things like planning tasks, staying organized, switching between two different activities. These may be difficult for people who are autistic. Some of the other challenges that they may face is social exhaustion. And this results in masking behaviors or basically this person may find themselves having to hide their frustration and hide the fact that they are not comfortable or they are overwhelmed by social interactions. And one of the other concerns we have is safety and isolation. So because of the communication barriers that autistic people face, they are often misunderstood, and this can lead to social isolation and anxiety. So one of the most important ways we can support children who are autistic is that when we notice some behaviors that we find unusual, we can take these children to speech therapists and occupational therapists who can help train these children to develop social skills that will improve their communication from an early age. Another way is taking them to institutions that accommodate their different brains. So the schools, the workplaces that they go to have to be tailored specifically for them, so that they may be able to work effectively and learn effectively. These areas should be able to provide a quiet space and use clear written instructions instead of verbal ones, so that autistic people may be able to communicate and interact effectively. Even areas allowing noise cancelling headphones. Remember that autistic people have sensory difficulties, and the best support is often a community that listens to autistic people and respects their autonomy. So finally, in conclusion, we are reminded this month that we should not just be aware, but we should learn to accept people who are different from us. Let's strive for acceptance and inclusion. We embrace these people who we call neurodivergent, and we recognize the different ways of thinking and experiencing the world. And this makes our community stronger and more vibrant. Thank you for watching, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, goodbye.